Parashat Shemot, which begins with Klal Yisrael, the 70 members of the family of Israel, having now lived and sojourned in Egypt for quite a while, have multiplied, and the Shibud begins, the subjugation begins, the hard slavery begins, and we're introduced to the life of Moshe Rabbeinu, the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu, the life of Moshe Rabbeinu, and perhaps the climax of the parasha comes when Moshe Rabbeinu is herding the sheep of his father-in-law Yitro in the desert, and beholds that famous vision of the sneh, of the small bush that is burning but is not being consumed. And it's at this place that Kadosh Baruch Hu reveals himself to Moshe Rabbeinu and tells him that he's going to be the leader that's going to take Klal Yisrael out of Egypt. And in this discussion we find that Moshe Rabbeinu is very resistant to doing God's command. And I'd like to take a look and try to understand one of the first of the oppositions that Moshe Rabbeinu raises. So the pasuk tells us in source 1, "And now go, and I shall dispatch you to Paro, and you shall take my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." Parakil pasuk at Aleph. Moshe replied to Hashem, "Who am I, mi anochi, that I should go to Paro and that I should take the children of Israel out of Egypt?" So he has two questions. Who am I that I should go to Paro? Is question 1. And who am I that I should take the children of Israel of Egypt? And Hashem answers him, pasuk Yud Beis, and he said, "For I shall be with you." That's the answer, I'll be with you. And this is your sign, v'zeh l'cha'ot, that I have sent you. When you take the people out of Egypt, you will serve Hashem on this mountain. And then Moshe Rabbeinu continues, ask me your name, what shall I answer, etc. I'd like to try to, Mirz Hashem, focus on Moshe Rabbeinu's questions and on his answers to try to get a sense of what was bothering Moshe Rabbeinu. After all, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you to do something, right? If you get Das Torah to do something, you do it. What is this arguing? Who am I? What's going on here? So let's understand Rashi. These are two unrelated questions. One, how can I, who am so unqualified, source 2, influence Paro? That's question 1. Mi anochi, who am I that I have the ability to talk to great people? And 2, and what have the Jewish people done to deserve such a miracle? So Rashi understands that Moshe Rabbeinu has two issues here. 1, who is he to take the Jews out of Egypt? Right? Who is he as the individual? And 2, chus do Klal Yisrael have that they're worthy of being redeemed, which is also problematic. If God says, take my people out, who are you then to say, well, are they deserving of being taken out? If God says they're deserving. How do we understand Moshe Rabbeinu's question? And continuing in the Rashi in source 12, and he said, God answered Moshe 2 questions in order. He not need fear Paro because God will be with him. And as to the merit of the Jewish people, they're destined to receive the Torah on Mount Sinai within 3 months after leaving Egypt. So the next pasuk, and I will be with you, that's the answer to don't be afraid. And what schus do they have? They have the schus of receiving the Torah in 3 months, which again raises a lot of questions, which is the fact that they're going to receive the Torah in 3 months isn't a schus they have now. That's a schus, a merit they will have. What about now? Which we also need to understand. And this whole idea of when you take the people out of Egypt, you'll serve God on this mountain. What is the message that Kadosh Baruch Hu is trying to tell Moshe Rabbeinu? And does this message, unlike Rashi necessarily, is this message connected to, with the first question, for I will be with you, and this is your sign? It's a sign that they'll be worshiping God on this mountain, have anything to do with Moshe's feeling unworthy of taking the Jews out of Egypt? Now obviously, and I almost feel repetitive saying this, but I need to say this almost every week, if not every week. There's a lot of Torah here, there's a lot to learn. I'd like to, Mirz Hashem, focus on the first question primarily, Mi Anochi, who am I? We'll look at this from a number of vantage points, and then I'd like to end with 1 or 2 ideas on what schus the Klal Yisrael have, because I think it leaves us with a very, very practical and powerful messages for our lives. Moshe Rabbeinu, as the Tiv HaTorah of Gamliel Rabinowitz tells us, Haya Ohev Yisrael Amiti. He was Moser Nefesh for Klal Yisrael. The pasuk tells us, Vayar b'sivlotam. He saw in their misery. He said, Chavali alecha, mi yitain muti alecha. I wish I was in your place. There was no one like Moshe Rabbeinu who took on the burden on his own shoulder. He felt the pain as nobody else. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you who left all of your dealings to feel the pain of my people, I'm going to leave everything I'm doing, Kivyachol, and appear to you. Harei lanu kan mesiras nefesh, the dot in 3, the kamamal hishkia Moshe b'am Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu is a paradigm of someone who feels the pain of the people. Va'afa pikein ro'im anu kan shelo ratzah lekabel al atzmo et hatafkid lo tzia b'nei Mitzrayim. Nonetheless, although he had such a love for the people, he didn't want to take on this job.